Joining us now is royal editor for the Daily Mirror, Russell Myers. Russell, fast approaching the end of the year. But, you know, in recent times, and we've definitely talked about it a lot this year, there's been a much more obvious crossover between royalty and celebrity. But apparently this week, there's some noses out of joint about a deal with Dior.
Well, of course. How you doing, Cara? I mean, you know, never short from controversy, are we, when we're talking about the royals? And it's been a pretty packed 2023. Really thinking about what's going to happen next year. It's been so fast and furious over the last 12 months. But, you know, a bit of a rumblings. I mean, let's take it back a little bit. We had Harry in the Dior suit, if you remember, when he turned up to the coronation. A bit of controversy about that. But, of course, he's welcome to make deals in the private market. Talks of whether Meghan Markle was going to be the new face of Dior, and perhaps some noses put out of joint now because it's just been announced that Meg Bellamy, the star of The Crown, who played Kate Middleton in the last series, is going to be the new face of the French fashion house. So I think these things happen, don't they, in sort of fashion land. One person gets mentioned that they're going to be the new bright young thing, and then another person takes over. But I think 2024, as Meghan Markle said, they've got a few exciting things on the slate, and it'll be interesting to see what the pair of them have ready for us next year.
Now, on to Prince Andrew. Look, his close relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein has seen him well and truly relegated to the royal family backbench. And, you know, fair enough. We understand that relationship is likely to hit the media again. What's the update and why now?
Well, incredible. I mean, you're still talking about the sort of tawdry aspect of Prince Andrew's relationship with the late convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. And now, on December the 18th, a judge in Manhattan has said that's a new case involving Joanna Soberg. She was the woman who accused Prince Andrew of groping her back in 2001 when he was playing with a spitting image puppet of himself, and there's a meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell's serving a huge prison sentence in jail at the moment, and this case could really sort of rumble the high and powerful figures of, people that Jeffrey Epstein mixed with. Now, the unsealing of these documents will take place, we get related to this case with Joanna Soberg and Ghislaine Maxwell, sometime after January 1st. So you can imagine the sort of furious pace that sort of these rich and powerful men are working with their lawyers over the Christmas period to try and appeal the fact that they don't want to be named in this judgment. So will Prince Andrew be named in it? It is most likely that he will be dragged into this long-running saga, and a big saga for him it is, because he's had to step back in disgrace from his public role. Talking about the sort of fall from grace that he's had, it's been absolutely complete now, and it'll be more uncomfortable headlines for the royal family, I think, if he is named in this judgment.
Now, in my editorial, I spoke about the royal family's Christmas traditions. Now, who's coming to Christmas this year? And are they doing anything differently than perhaps they've done in the past?
Well, during the week on Wednesday, we had so it used to be called the Buckingham Palace pre-Christmas lunch. It's been held at Windsor Castle the last few years. It's a chance for the extended family to all get together. We saw the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh with Lady Louise coming back down from university. She's at St Andrews at the moment. We saw some of the sort of fringe royals, maybe the Princess Eugenie, Princess Beatrice was there with her husband, the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester. But then, it will be time for the royals to descend on Sandringham in Norfolk over the next couple of days. And then this will be a chance for the sort of senior royals and closest family to get together. The traditional turkey dinner on Christmas Day, the thing that they do, the royal family, they exchange gifts on Christmas Eve because they have a big ball, black tie ball on the day before Christmas. And I think, it's a chance for Charles and Camilla to bring together their blended families, because Camilla's children are going to be invited as well. So there's going to be quite a packed schedule for the royals over the next few days, and no doubt we'll see them walking to church and engaging with some of the members of the public who come out to see them. But, definitely foot off the gas in terms of work and engagement over the next few days.
But the King is also broadcasting his address to the Commonwealth, which is obviously part of the tradition. However, we understand the King is perhaps taking his own direction a little bit this year, could potentially risk upsetting his aides. What's his planned divergence here?
Well, certainly, when Charles makes these speeches, he does them off the cuff, but that might cause a bit of nervousness in the palace. I mean, obviously, the King's message has been recorded already. It will go out on Christmas Day throughout the Commonwealth. And I think that when you look at what Charles will potentially say, no doubt it will be about unity, togetherness, whether he ends up mentioning certain members of the family. Sometimes he does mention the work of the Prince and Princess as well. Some people have said he won't mention Harry and Meghan at all. I can't imagine that he will, but I think it will be about, unifying force, the fact of sort of his first official year in the job, 6 months after the coronation. There's a lot to be discussed. And I think that, when Charles makes these speeches, I think we saw it in the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, where he was seen scribbling out his notes, even in the royal box, and then made a fantastic speech that sort of roused the nation. So I think it'll be hard-hitting, all about unity and togetherness, and trying to look forward to a fantastic year next year.
Now, Prince William has had to travel overseas unexpectedly this week, no doubt disrupting plans in the lead up to Christmas. Can you run us through why he's taking this urgent trip at the end of the year?
Well, yes, a sudden trip. The Emir of Kuwait had sadly passed away. He'd only been in the role for about 3 years. But Prince William flew to Kuwait to represent the King, to offer the royal family's condolences. The Royal Family Association with the Kuwaiti royal family goes back, an awful long time. And I think it was right that on behalf of the royal family, but also on behalf of the nation, that Prince William was able to go over there to offer his condolences, like many other statesmen and members of sort of foreign royal families.
Now, Russell, this is going to be our last chat for the year, and I want to thank you for your observations and insights over the course of the year. You've been a really important contributor to our show. So to finish up, can I please have your royal highlights and lowlights for 2023?
Well, Cara, that's very nice. It's been a great topsy-turvy year. Love coming on the show. I mean, listen, of course we can't get away from the coronation. It was a perfect sort of display of pomp and pageantry and splendour. Can you believe it is nearly 12 months since Prince Harry's book Spare hit the shelves? I mean, we're going to be still talking about that, not only for years, for decades to come, and sort of the fallout of the royal family. But there's been some good baby news when Princess Eugenie has welcomed, new baby into the world. I think we've had... What else have we had? We've had a bit of sort of trials and tribulations, a bit of infighting, whether we will see the Sussexes come back to not necessarily his Christmas dinner this year, but maybe back to the UK in some form to sort of spend some time with the family. But I think it's going to be a big year next year for the royal family. We're going to see a lot more foreign travel. We're going to get down under with Charles and Camilla next October, which I'm really looking forward to. So there's an awful lot to look forward to for next year.
Absolutely, there is. Russell Myers, thank you so much for today and for the whole year. We will see you next year.
Will do. Cheers, Carrie. Merry Christmas.